Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here with you, and today we're going to be talking about the HPS watch list and what the HPS watch list and what it means and why it's doing so well in this world of investment and making income. There's just so much out there. You could go out there and everyone has something going on. When we talk about investing and getting a return on your money, it's probably one of the best ways to make money, make this passive income. And passive meaning that you're not really working for it, letting the income work. I'm working for it. Actually, I'm working for you to bring you these setups. And all you have to do is basically understand the methodology behind it and why it works. And when you have gained that confidence, then these trades come naturally to you. And just learning the method in itself, you can eventually invest yourself and just do real well in the markets. Now, I'm just going to go, we have a streak going on right now. I can't, what you're looking at here is part of the HPS watch list. And this is, this is what goes out to members of Day Trading Radio. Day Trading Radio is an online market broadcast. It goes from, it goes 24/7 basically, but, I broadcast the markets live every day from about 8 o'clock to about 4 o'clock. So 8 in the morning to 4 o'clock. And then we do some after hour shows. We've been getting more involved in the cyber currency or the cryptocurrencies, so we've been paying attention to those, and we've been doing a lot of after-hours shows, and then we're expanding real fast. But we've been around. I've been around started trading in 93, 92, 93, went full-time in 96, and then I started Day Trading Radio in 2007. So as you can see, we're doing pretty well. The HPS methodology is based off of all that time frame broken down into certain things that work in the market. Now, when you think about things that work, you could go through the market and learn something. You could be in the boiler room stocks, you could be in chat rooms, you could be talking about momentum and breakouts. These are things that over 20-something years of trading for myself, I was able to eliminate anything that didn't give me a better probability of winning than a 50-50 or 60-40 chance of really. I don't want to random walk through Wall Street. I want to map out every single setup. So over the last 10 years, I put together this method that really defines these setups. And these setups are the ones I scan for each week and get placed on this. And as you can see the results, it's all automated. All these results all these stocks are put into the system, and they are, actually go up here, and you could actually see some of these levels have not been hit. You have three circle areas: green, gold, and red. Green means that you're watching. So if it says watching, it means that the setup hasn't triggered its entry spot. If it's green, that means it has triggered its entry spot. And if it's gold or yellowish gold, that means it hit its profit target. If it turns red, that means it hit its goal after it hit its entry. All right. As a short here, it came back, and I'll show you the examples of those. So right now we're in the midst of a nice little streak of setups here, and we have I just launched a new HPS watch list going into next week, which is about December. But the fact is, these things are working so good. So I want to review the setups and make you understand how important it is to just kind of, even if you don't take my advice or take the watch list, you could have this watch list sent to you every week. You could have this research done for you. I call it the most logical and scientific approach to the markets. And when and if you've been watching the show for any of the amount of time, years or just months and stuff, you realize there's a method to our investment strategy, and it's always worked out. It's the best. And there will be times when things get stopped out based off of news or whatever. But the majority of the time, like you said, if you get these type of percentages, we have about a 70 to 80% success on each trade. Of these trades being set up, and I could actually show you some of the details on this. Hold on one second. All right, these are actual. This is actually some of the returns of the past years, just to give you an overview of, because everything is kind of stays steady because the criteria is so steady that we have these same returns. And just to give you an idea of how many trades we get set up, the percentage of winner losers each month and stuff. I try to break this down as best as possible on the site too, just to kind of give you an idea of what HPS or the high probability setups are meaning. So we talk about a 76-24% winning-losing trade ratio here, and important that understanding that we have a set, again, a set criteria of how we place our stops on each of our trades and stuff, so we limit our risk. Average cost basis, basically not bad. And if you follow me trading, you'll know that the positions I usually start off very small positions, under usually under 400 shares. Lots of times I'll just start a position with 100 shares, and then it will continue to either add to that because of the confirmation of the patterns, or maybe even that we get an early entry and then we do hit our trigger. So we always start off with a little. That gives us a lot of stuff to work with. So let's go over and take a look at some of these setups and what you're looking for in the HPS. Now, like I said, you're going to have some stop outs. I mean, it would be ridiculous to say that everyone's going to be a perfect trader. There's things that happen out there. Maybe you decide to take a short and the market's too strong, you get stopped out of it. Or there's news that comes out. Most of the, and I'm not going to say this, but I am going to say this because a lot of the stocks that you do see the Reddit was based off of news. News will come out and will take a stock down because you hold into earnings, or there's some kind of news release or something that happens with the market, and that's the reason you have a stop. Most of these stocks after the fact have probably pushed higher and moved up off of it. Just to give you an example, let me see if I could bring up one of the stops here. Well, of course, Aflac was a strong, that was a short. I wouldn't really want to short too much stocks. Let's take a look at Sienna here, and it's actually used the Kraft here. Kraft is actually one that's coming up for me. Again, when you see a stop, lots of times the news will come in and will push a little bit higher. Actually, if we look back at this pattern right here, this is what we call a falling wedge pattern. And every chart that gets sent out comes out with a buy zone, a stop zone, and a profit zone, meaning that we want to buy into that area. What happened with this one, actually I remember trading this one, because even though we came down into that, I said we have to pay attention to this lower trend line. So we kind of try to walk you through this. Even though we pushed through there, what I think we were looking for a divergence here, but I see this as a great potential divergence. We might not get down to our trigger area. We wanted to be part of the trade now, so I ended up taking a position thinking this might be a divergence if this crosses up. It was not a divergence, and when you come down into it, you're going to get the alert. And then, as you can see, we actually pushed down a little bit further, down to that lower trend line, and then bounced and pushed higher. That's probably the most the rare occasion when sometimes we actually break down through a buy trigger just to come down to a lower trend line and then pop, which we normally do. So again, but I want to show you just some of the key setups that you're going to be getting with the HPS setup, understanding that even your stops will be sent to you, but there's very rare that we get those stops. Let's go take a look at all these. All right, first one here is, and we're going to just go right down the line. Philip Morris here. It's a sideways consolidation, but you can see that cross up here on the stochastics, meaning that this is a possible divergence. The first thing we want to say is our divergence setup that we put on the list is our number one go-to setup. As you can see, when we put something out there and it's a divergence, you get a huge move off of it. You hear me say this probably on hundreds of videos. If you show me a divergence, I'll show you a stock that moves aggressively in the direction of the divergence. And the divergence setup, again, I'm not going to go through that whole process of explaining that, but that's our main, one of our fundamental trading blocks that we trade off of at Day Trader Radio, and using the high probability setups, that is our number one stock that we put on there. So if you believe in the divergence trade, then the HPS will always deliver those. That is important to understand. We're going to go right down the line, and we'll just click on each one. Each one of these, again, gives you its chart. It sets it up. It puts it up on this. You get this sent to you on a watch list every week before the following week starts. So we understand that this was a divergence buy trigger. Once it hits the buy trigger, it'll send you an instant email and text alert, outlining the trade. You will get the trade way before it's a buy divergence. And my commentary, like this video, we'll comment on the setup and exactly how to trade it. And as you can see, we actually broke higher, hit our target, and came right back down. But that's the beauty of being in a divergence trade. You're going to get that big move. You're going to get the profit target being hit, and you get that text saying your target's been hit. Get out of the trade. You don't have to worry about the swings of the market. The markets are volatile, but the setups are consistent, very consistent, especially with divergences. And actually, you go back and you look at this and you say, well, you know what? I might even look at this again as another trade setup. And then I go back and do some more research, and we end up finding these stocks over and over again. I could scroll back and actually see many different setups, all of them typically the same setup, and we just have to wait for them to play out, and I send them out, and they're good to go. So we're going to let me show you the next one here. Let's close that out. And this is, again, just what you would get right here. Ball AWK, that was American Waterworks. We just recently took profits on that. This was all this last week too. And again, you'll probably notice this is what we call a technique. It's called a 20-20 trade. It's an HPS trade. Also, the HPS trades that we teach, there's about 10 of them, 10 solid setups that you look for in the market. When you see them, we send out the alert. We explain them. We give you a buy trigger, a profit zone, and a stop, all automated. So now you don't even have to watch it. You could actually do your research, you get your alerts, you take the trades if you want. You could set up the trades pre-week. A lot of people, what they do is they get the HPS and they set it up on their bracket trades or a bracket order in the broker saying, all right, if it hits the buy trigger, I'm going to get in and I want to place a profit or I'm going to place a sell order at this level and a stop at this level, and everything's set up for you. And that's how many people do it on and again, you could see. When we have that breakout, understanding the concept of the stochastic rotation and the momentum here following up, that's what you get. And we know that market here we're not going here and looking for a home run. We're looking for an aggressive move in a short amount of time, put our money to work, usually in a 5-day period. An optimal trade for an HPS setup is 3 to 5 days, 3 to 7 days, 3 to trading days. Once we get to that level, we want to take it off and we want to rotate it into the next setup. Then the next setup could come down the line. You just get an email alert for it. Oh, Johnny just put a new HPS setup on it. Let's take a look. What is it? Smuckers? Oh, another quality name. Why is it on there? Well, let's take a look at it. The video will explain why I'm in it. This is a nice falling wedge pattern. It's one of the best bets. It's one of the best bets. That's another thing. I'm going to identify in each video watch list. There's usually 1 or 2, in some cases 3 best bets, and those are the ones that if you're a beginner trader, these are the ones that have the highest probability of all of working out. And I always recommend those to build your account up. All right, and as you can see, look at that. Look at once we broke through there, boom. I mean, this is even way further than most of these stocks are going to go. But remember, the HPS is meant for a week. So we're going to get an aggressive move in the next 5 days. It doesn't mean it's not going to stop going. I'll usually do I'll make comments on that during the day, but or during the next watch list. But the main trade is the best trade. Now this is of course a great one. All of them are great. I get so excited about this, and now we're even talking about we're trading the Bitcoin now. It's a little bit more aggressive. It reminds us of the old school. The 90s trading where you have these big volatile moves and you can actually trade them off of breakouts and pattern breakouts, and that's all great. That's great for the cowboys out there. I'm even in it. But this setup right here, these setups right here, are quality names on great proven techniques that cannot be missed. I mean, honestly, you cannot just oh man. Any of these. I mean, all these names. IAC, this is one of my favorite ones. This is another, I think, a 2020 setup. I'm about to get back into this one. And again, the buy zone is a little bit low, trying to get us a little bit lower on the buy zone. We'll talk about the earnings on this, higher risk, a little into earnings if you want to hold it. But boom, we get right into our buy zone and we pop aggressively. Then we actually came back, took it again, popped back up. The profit zone, the buy zone, all mean something. Even the the stop actually came back and ended up being an important area. It's amazing. Almost like the whole market is watching my levels here, because I didn't, this was just a basic stop down here. I wasn't planning on it to hold the market up here. So actually, I'm liking IAC to get into this week. It's actually starting to set up again. But that's the whole concept between the HPS setups. I want to start sending these charts out now. All these charts have followed through and just crushed it, absolutely crushed it. And you know what? Like I said, there could be a stop out there here and there. You're going to get those too. Here we had a divergence short where we had a high and a higher high and a possible lower high right here. And we actually were in the money on this, except a very strong market has a hard, we actually started pulling back. We got oversold and then off to the races it went. So, I mean, I don't short the strong markets too often, but if you do, you have to have a stop. And we ended up taking it off on that stop. And I'm not really, not condoning, what's the word I'm looking for, promoting shorts in this market until we start to see a really good pullback and a sustained trend to the downside. Right now, the HPS is probably going to be very bullish stocks, like what we've been talking about. Perfect setups, you name it. And I'll talk about it. There's other ones out there, the falling wedge pattern, nice falling wedge pattern, boom. All of these moving right when we put it out there because of the divergence setup. The low and the lower low, the low and the higher low. All right, that's it. I wanted to get this out. I wanted to show you how we're just on a roll right now, on a roll in day trading radio. If you're really really interested in making money in the markets and making a good passive income and having the work done for you, sent to you, all the alerts set up, definitely check it out. We have a free, there was not a free trial. It's a $9.95 trial for 2 weeks. You want to check it out, feel free. DayTradingRadio.com. If you don't have time to hang out, DayTradingRadio.com comes with a lot of different benefits. Let me show you fast. All right, here we are. Day Trading Radio. This is Day Trading Radio right here. Like benefits page here. Custom DTR dashboard. You have to check that out. Real time and commercial free broadcast. You don't get the commercials. Focused trading rooms. We have an options stock room, futures room. We also have a crypto room now. High probability setups watch list. That's what I was explaining to you right now. That's probably the most valuable thing on the list. That's really what what you're getting. Members only education methodology, all the watch list, real time trade alerts. Whenever I take a trade or whenever the HPS is set up and trade, you automatically get those alerts on multiple platforms. Multiple ways. You have the text alerts also included with your email alerts. We have discounts for brokers, live squawk. We have a news channel, and it's $49.99 a month, $95 a month, very cheap. Oh, well, I didn't even say cheap. Someone told me don't say it's cheap because they say they get a tremendous value with day trading radio. So it's a very good value for $2 a day, and you get all that. So check it out. We have hundreds of traders in our rooms every day trading. So come by, check it out with the trial. And like I said, if you don't have time, say, well, I don't have time to watch the show every day. I'm just interested in your setups. Well, we recently split the high probability setups watch list off into its own little a la carte thing. So you could actually get high probability setups here by itself. If you go to highprobabilitysetups.com, I'll show you that real fast. Let me see if I can go to this is HPS. Let me get this set up here for you. Here you have the highprobabilitysetups.com, little video screen there of the show, and basically it's you get the alerts and you get the alerts and the video and the watch list and the HPS site for $29.95, but you do not get the dashboard, you do not get the chat rooms, you get the HPS. So that's it for someone else who doesn't have time to spend. They're working. This is perfect if you're not in front of your computer. This is perfect if you have a job and you're doing what you're going to do. You're still going to get those returns. Everything's going to be delivered to you, and you can set up your trades each week with me with the video. And here's the alerts. It's very easy to set up the alerts and what email you want to get to, your call, your text number. We even have some other special things on there. So $29.95 a month. So just a little, I'll throw that out to you. If you have a different choice, I highly recommend Day Trading Radio because you get so much value with that, with the commentary throughout the week, and you can listen to it throughout the day. You can even listen to Day Trading Radio if you want, anywhere you want on your mobile devices using the TuneIn Radio. All right, so that's it. Hope to see you in the markets, and this is Day Trader Rockstar signing off.